Let's see it. Really blowing a hoolie. Good afternoon everyone and welcome to Scotland. I've made the long drive up from Kent, stopped overnight in the Lake District, -5 there last night. It was -11 here in Aviemore. I set off at 5:30 from the Lake District this morning to avoid the big storm. We haven't had the blizzard conditions. It's still about -2, -3 here. It went up to 0 briefly. Anyway, why am I in the Cairngorms? I am here to photograph. This is going to be a medium wildlife shoot. I'm going to try and do some landscapes as well. I'm here for 4 or 5 days. Primarily I'm going to try and do mountain hares, ptarmigan, grouse, anything I really feel I can get a chance to get to. So it's 2 o'clock now. I've got maybe a couple of hours, maximum hour and a half, where I can nip out and try and do maybe some quick landscape photography. Right, we're just having a little fun here, going up to one of the lochs, which should be interesting. And it's still fairly icy. I've got winter tyres on, not winter tyres, I've got all weather tyres, and it is a 4x4 I mean, but you still have to be careful because going up's not so bad, but I do have to have a think about coming down again the other side. But it's getting a little bit late, but I'm going to see if we can get a photograph up at the loch. Being snow blasted at the moment. Everyone who says you can't combine wildlife with landscape photography, meet my new friends. Even they're struggling a wee bit. So we've got 4 mallards, one very, very cold photographer, and a sort of view. So I'm going to try and get a photo here. The wind is howling, you probably can't hear it. I'm not using the mic on here, I'm using my lav mic. But it's got a lot colder. It's now sleeting and snowing. I must be absolutely bloody mad. Right, I've actually taken cover behind this bloody great tree. It's blowing a blizzard now. You probably can't get it on this microphone, but it's here's not too bad, but out in the open it's really blowing a hoolie. And that's that, I'm afraid, for my first afternoon. So the next morning I headed up to the hills to try and photograph the mountain hares, but I want to show you on the 2 of the trips I did up to the hills just how much the weather can vary. It was amazing how just in the space of 72 hours conditions changed dramatically. It's a gorgeous morning. It's still 0 degrees here, and at the top it'll probably be a little bit, probably -1, -2 maybe, but the sun's out, so it'll be warming up pretty quickly. It's quite a yomp up this hill. It's about 1,800 feet in elevation, even though it's only a couple of miles. Be a nice easy stroll to walk, but with this bloody great thing on the back, and I've got my 500 a body, I've got a 2470, I've got some filters, I've got my audio recording stuff, I've got the stuff for this, I've got food, I've got water, I've got gloves, and an apple. I think that's about it. This will probably blow out with the camera, but obviously you can see that coming up on towards the top of the plateau. Okay, hare footprints. Well, you can see here, guys, all these huge amount of fantastic hare prints where they've been moving during the night. Right, everyone, I thought now would be before we really get stuck in, I've worked my way up the slope and just give you an idea about the gear I'm using. Apart from everything that's in here, this bloody heavy rucksack, I've got pretty straightforward 500mm Nikon D810. The key thing up here is exposure, totally manual. All this white obviously is a nightmare for the exposure, so go manual, expose to the hare, do some test shots and constantly check it, adjust it as the light changes. It is incredibly bright up here, but I've also thought I'd show you what our little friends get up to. Let me just take that there. You can see this is one of their forms, their holes. They dig it into the snowbank. The snow here is about 3 feet thick, I think, at the moment, 2-3 feet thick. It's certainly holding my weight on with my spikes. And you can see actually when we've had 100-mile winds up here this week, once they get in there, they're pretty safe. The problem for them actually is feeding. With this amount of snow, they have to go down the slopes usually to feed, and that's what they tend to do in the evening. At night, they go down and feed, and they come back up here during the day. So it's a beautiful, beautiful day. You can see the slopes and everything. So I'm going to head on up the slope, see if we can find ourselves a hare. Right, oof, this is getting hard work. Next time anyone tells you there aren't any remote places left in the UK, maybe bring them up here. This is proper wilderness, and you can see my footprints there. Yeah, so search for the elusive hare goes on. To be honest, I didn't expect to find any up here. There aren't many footprints, just one or two you can see here. You see these the occasional guys coming down. I hope you can see those, but didn't really expect to find much, but I've never been up here right across the top of the plateau and down to the other side, and you can see just how remote it is, and it's just incredible. And there's no snow lower down, it's just too cold up here, hasn't gone below freezing. But this is the environment that things like ptarmigan and mountain hares live in, and there is a real danger that, you know, if we get more global warming, you know, these creatures need this. This is why they're here. They're designed and evolved to live in these incredibly, you know, subarctic conditions. But already you've noticed in parts of the world some mountain hares aren't as white as they used to be. There's a big variation in colour of the mountain hares here, and you could argue if the snow all goes, if we get global warming on a much bigger scale, they'll need to be browner to survive. The white ones get picked off by golden eagles very easily, so maybe they will evolve, but they'll need to do it pretty fast. But I'm now going to head on back. I've got that much light left, and I don't want to get stuck up here overnight, I can assure you. Right guys, you might not be able to see it, but there's a hare just in here, tucked in there. I've had to crawl. All the way up from my bag, back there, and on all fours. This is the first chance I've had to actually video a sitting here. So you can see what I've got. It's a gorgeous light behind. In fact, this is when I wish I had a zoom, because my 500, if it gets up and runs, I'd rather have a bit more flexibility. But I'm going to try a couple of close-ups. 500mm. I'm exposing for the hair. They're really important. All this white in the snow, which the GoPro doesn't pick up very well, is obviously confusing the metering. So I've gone manual. Just want I don't mind if the snow wants to be blown out, and I want the hair to be right. So let's see how we get on with this guy. But it's nice to be able to share a moment out here. It is so cold now though. I've got 2 pairs of gloves on, and the wind's getting up, the sun's, you can see what's happening. The sun's starting to go down. But let's see if we can get some pictures. Whew, and I haven't had my lunch yet, and it's now about 2:30. So I'm starving, I'm thirsty, I'm cold, but we do have a hare. It was time to head off the hill. The light had nearly gone, the temperature had gone way below freezing. As I headed down, it even started to sleet, and the wind was gusting back up to 40 or 50. But I managed to see on the way down a couple of hares tucked into the heather protect themselves against the elements. Nearly there. Back to the car, have a drink, something to eat, and recover.